Hi, everyone, and welcome to day 29 of our Battle of the Poets project. Welcome to round 4. I have the results of the last voting, and I asked you to choose between Emily Dickinson's poem and William Carlos Williams' poem, and I am happy to report that William Carlos Williams has won. So today we are going to be looking at our very final matchup of our favorite poets. So Billy Collins is our first poet that we'll be looking at today, and we're also going to be reading a poem from William Carlos Williams. This will be the very last, as I said, matchup between two poets. So one of these two will be crowned the winner of our Battle of the Poets. So I'm going to start with Billy Collins. This Billy Collins poem is called Driving Through the Light. I woke up in the dark this morning to drive home through the hills of Pennsylvania. I scraped off the windows of the parked car, the season's first ghost sheen of frost. And now I am out on the shining road, observing how the earliest sun lies flat against the earth, watching the oblique light as it tracks down inch by inch from the highest trees on the ridges of the hills and gradually fills the contours of the land. If I had the whole day, I would follow it as it moved down into the shadowed valleys and later into the windows of the houses that were built along the rivers, and finally into the low rivers themselves, which are the last places for the light to visit. I would watch it as it dappled the still pools that hold the suspended fish and sparkled the surface out in the middle where the river is strongest, where it flows along with its eyes wide open, like a swimmer who has swum so long she has forgotten her name and never needs to come up for air again. That is how I began the long drive home, thinking about the visitations and the timing of light, as dawn poured into the car and pierced the vapor rising from the cup I held, thinking about the slow annunciation of this day, the mysteries of the places I will never see, and about the long, watery body of that nameless swimmer. So that was Driving Through the Light. And I will admit that I chose this poem partially because I've spent a lot of time driving through the dark of the morning in the hills of Pennsylvania. So it's a poem that's kind of close to my heart. So the William Carlos Williams poem that I'm going to share with you now is called The Botticelli Entry. And just in case you don't know, Botticelli is a fairly famous Italian Renaissance painter, and he's responsible for many paintings, but probably his most famous is The Birth of Venus, which you probably have seen, Venus rising up out of the water in the seashell, So I just wanted to let you know because Botticelli has a certain painting style that's kind of referenced in this poem. So, The Botticelli Entry by William Carlos Williams. The alphabet of the trees is fading in the song of the leaves, the crossing bars of the thin letters that spelled winter, and the cold have been illumined with pointed green. By the rain and sun, the strict, simple principles of straight branches are being modified by pinched out ifs of color, devout conditions. So that was the Botticelli Entry, which to me feels like a very spring sort of a poem. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed those poems. Take a minute to vote for your favorite, and we will have our winner of the Battle of the Poets. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow to announce the results of our voting, and thank you so much for participating in this project. I've had a ton of fun, and I hope you have too.